Ready? All right, recording. Good morning. It's 9:02 on a Friday morning. We are going to have a lot of fun today. Last night, the Astros won. They are one win away from making it to the World Series. What else is going on? We also have Lamarck Bayou Fest taking place tomorrow. UPW Wrestling, the beatdown in Bay Cliff, is taking place tomorrow, I believe, as well. So it's going to be actually is it tonight? I think it's tonight, but we're going to have Bart in studio later talking about that at 10 o'clock. So make sure that you go follow UPW. It's going to be in Bay Cliff today. And then we also have Joel from Nobility, who's in studio hanging out. I think he's trying to find that stream on social media. And we're going to be chatting about fall. We're going to be chatting about flavors. He brought tea in studio, and I'm still trying to figure out what is it that makes this tea the only tea that I've ever drank and enjoyed. Ethan, you're a fan of tea. You know, whenever I told you that Joel was coming in, like actually you walked in and saw him and you were kind of shocked.
I was shocked. I was excited. I was feeling all the good emotions. I saw Joel and my brain associated him with that delicious tea and can I just have a hug?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this out. If you haven't had the chance to try Nobility yet, you need to check them out. We're going to find out all about the location, everything that they offer. They were at the Taco Cook-Off. Did you have some then?
I did. I had some of their chai tea.
Did you do the chai? Chai is so good.
Oh, my. It was so good. Like, I'd never had chai tea, and that brings me back.
Oh, yeah. And you had it when we had it here. We had it with 2% milk.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good with 2%. The best way to have it, we didn't bring it because we just didn't have enough of it in the store, but vanilla almond milk kills the game. It's the absolute greatest.
That sounds good.
I'm going to have to be visiting your store
absolutely.
very soon.
That's what my dad had. He had the chai tea, and he was loving it. It was beautiful weather at that event, and it was cold in the beginning, and then it warmed up, and it was nice. So it was a good option. It's like I can get my cold drink, and then I can get my chai, which was kind of like warm and felt fall. So we're going to go ahead and switch it over, get to the FM, and have some fun. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now it's 9:05 a.m. on a Friday. TGIF, if you are watching on Facebook, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. Go ahead and share this stream out. Let me know what you got going on today and this weekend. I have Joel in studio. Joel, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going really well, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you let everybody know who has the best tea in your opinion? If you were looking for some tea, where do you go?
I go to Nobility.
Nobility. Where are y'all located?
We're located in Clear Lake, 11510 Space Center Boulevard. It's going to be really close to the Space Center and Genoa Red Bluff intersection, right in front of where the old Colin's restaurant used to be. So the sign up front actually currently says tea to go. It's in the process of getting changed. But man, come on in. We got some amazing tea. 75 different options.
So was it at first just like to go, like pick up tea? Is that what you meant, like tea to go?
No, that was just the name of the brand.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Change the name.
Right. We did change the name. We are now Nobility, like I said. But no, nothing like that has changed. We still do all the hot teas and cold teas, sweet, unsweet, however you want to make them.
So we met, and I have to give a shout out to Jennifer Fuller with Bay Area Houston Food Lovers. She's the one who introduced us, and you came in, and admittedly, I'm not a fan of tea, and I told you that kind of hesitantly, but everything that I've had that y'all have had, I've enjoyed.
I'm glad to hear. Did you try the strawberry biscuits and lemonade at the cook-off?
I did, yeah, and it was great.
How is that compared to the Madonna? I'm curious.
What's interesting is I guess they're both tea, but they're different flavors. And to me, when I think of tea, that's not what tea tastes like.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. I guess it's a whole new chapter of my life that's been opened up that I've never explored before.
That's why I'm really excited for you to try the teas that we brought you today, actually. We have one for you and one for Ethan as well. One of them is our October tea of the month. It's called the Blueberry Brew. It's going to have some Blueberry Bliss white tea, so it's going to be a blueberry white tea. We added some blueberry lemonade velocity, so it's going to give a little sweetness, a little bit of energy as well, and blueberry boba in the bottom. So it's super blueberry. It's actually delicious. It's one of the best teas that we've had for tea of the month in a while, in my opinion.
All right. So y'all do that every month? Like there's a different tea that's featured?
Yeah, absolutely. Every single month we have a brand new tea. made by our employees. So it kind of tells us that they're able to taste the tea and mix the teas and see what goes well with each other. And yeah, so this one is also made by one of our employees.
Ethan, which one do you want to try? Do you want to try the blueberry? This one has the boba. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called blueberry popping pearls.
You like those?
This decision is about as hard as like picking my favorite song. There's too many good choices.
Oh, and then the other one.
The other one's called mulled wine. It's an herbal tea that we have no actual alcohol or anything like that in it, of course. But we added a cranberry velocity to it. So I mentioned before last time, the velocity is going to be that crushed green tea, green coffee bean energy extract. That's what's going to give you the boost throughout the day. And that's it's really good stuff. You're not going to have any crash or anything like that. It's not like, any of the energy drinks that, you could be drinking. It's super natural, delicious stuff.
Yeah, and that it also gives you a bit of the pickup.
It does.
In the morning, I mean, people sometimes need that. The Astros played late last night.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I need a little pickup. The morning drags a little bit. My son was probably late to school, 100%. My phone was telling me to go to Texas Pit Stop Barbecue at 8:19 in the morning.
And sometimes you need barbecue in the morning, too.
I need that extra little umph, the kick.
Oh, yeah.
Some nobility and some ribs.
Go. Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Perfect.
Hey, so if you're watching on Facebook, there is currently a poll. It's a favorite tea choice. In the options are Texas sweet, sweet, and unsweet, and then I don't like tea. Do y'all offer tea that is considered like, hey, this is Texas tea, Texas sweet tea,
Yeah, so whenever we do the sweetness, add sweetness to the tea, we have like 3 different levels. The first level is going to be like a semi-sweet, so it's going to be like a half and half. Imagine you have a gallon of sweet tea and a gallon of unsweet tea. You're literally pouring half a cup of each. The next one is going to be a standard sweet, so if you go to a restaurant, just a typical sweet tea, not over the top. And then the third level is what we call Southern Sweet, and that is sweet. But if you're looking for that kind of sweet tea, we definitely have that option for everybody.
Wow, so Texas Southern sweet tea, and
Absolutely.
that's really, really sweet.
It is quite sweet, but you would be surprised. A lot of people, that's how they drink their tea, and who are we to deny them that?
That's true. Ethan, whenever you drink tea, do you drink sweet tea? Like for that poll, like which option would you pick?
I chose Texas sweet. I mean, I feel like when it comes to tea, for me, it can't be too sweet. I don't know. It's just me. I mean, my mom's the complete opposite. She'd rather it be like unsweet than too sweet.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious, how are you defining Texas sweet? What does that mean to you?
That's like as much sugar as you can fit in without drinking sugar.
Okay.
So you just put on sugar with like a side of liquid, and it's like bink, and then you just, hey, this is good. I feel great, something like that.
Pretty much.
It's like when Dr. Chapa says you like coffee with your creamer. A lot of people I have to have my coffee. I saw a funny video like a comedian put out, and it was like fall. He does these like every year, 2019, and it's like, I love coffee, and it's just like creamer and this like a little bit. But the fall flavors, I like the name, the blueberry.
Blueberry, yeah.
Blueberry. And Ethan, how's that tea? Have you tried it yet?
I have, and it's delicious.
How would you describe it?
I have no idea. It's just so good.
So what is this one again? Because I think that's the one I want to try too.
Yeah, so that's called mulled wine. That's going to be an herbal tea. There's going to be some cinnamon chips in there, a little bit of orange peel. It's just going to taste super, fall or wintry.
Okay.
And we also added, like I mentioned before, the velocity. We have a cranberry velocity in that. So that's going to be your energy in there today.
Oh, that's good. Hey, I got to say good morning to Jordan. You met him. He's with ET Lockouts.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
so he said good morning to you, and there's a lot of comments as well. Here's one from Nina. She said, my kids love the fruit pearls.
Yes, yeah, that's what Ethan has in his drink, and the one right there, the blueberry popping pearls. We have this one, like I said, is blueberry. We have mango, strawberry, peach. We have a rainbow, yogurt, and lemon. I think
Yogurt, that's cool.
Yeah, the yogurt's actually really good in the chai.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tea is pretty much for everyone. I mean, like I was introduced to it as a kid, and I didn't have a good experience, which kind of set me onto the path I am on today, and has led me to this new chapter where I enjoy tea. Now, I enjoy nobility, but it's pretty cool. I guess you can go, like, if you want to get something, and then I want my kids to get something, there's something for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know how many options are on the menu?
Yeah, so we have over 75 different flavors of loose leaf tea. We've gotten bored with just the 75, so we've actually started blending a lot of teas as well. So, whatever 75 options. Start blending. I mean, it's unlimited. So
Yeah.
whatever kind of flavor profiles you're looking for, like if you want something with orange cinnamon, but also a little bit of blueberry, or orange cinnamon with some sort of other spices like a chai spices, we can absolutely blend to your liking.
Yeah, I think of places like like Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Where they have like the drinks, and it's like, oh, you have your normal drinks, and you can add all these flavors, and just as creative as you want to get, you can.
And that's really what I enjoy. Not knocking Sonic, because I've been there for my entire childhood, as I used to get Diet Vanilla Cokes. But no, they have the teas, and you get a peach tea and a raspberry tea from Sonic, but that's syrup.
Yeah,
Our teas are totally natural. We have actual shavings of peach, little chunks of peach or chunks of raspberry in our teas. So you're gonna get that natural flavor, not that syrupy sweetness flavor.
All right. Hey, so you joined us at the Talk of Taco Cook-Off.
I did, yeah.
And I'm wearing my shirt today, which is my first time to wear it. And I really like our logo, and I'm also excited how the shirts came out. So shout out to Southern Sass, Final and More in League City, who printed these up for us, and they came out well. Did you have a chance to eat any tacos while you were there?
Not really. I did not get a chance to try any. But I tried to go to the Pit Stop barbecue, Texas Pit Stop.
Yeah.
And they were still in the process of cooking, so they didn't have any handouts at the time. But from looking at the awards that they got, they were amazing.
They cleaned up shop.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah, I ate. I stopped counting how many tacos I ate.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I didn't have a booth demand, so I was kind of just like going around talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I'd go somewhere, someone's like, "Here's a taco. Here's a taco. Here's a taco." And it was great, but it was a lot of fun. And thank you all for coming out.
Absolutely, it was so much fun. It was good to see you, meet your family, and everything. That was really fun.
The tents. There was a little bit of drama with the tents because it was really windy in the morning.
Yeah. So. That happened for sure.
Did it knock over one of y'all's drinks? I saw something.
It did. So the person behind us had a tent. I don't remember what the business was. It was a very nice guy and a lady, and they set up a tent and everything. It looked like they had it strapped down and they had rope or something, but I guess there was a huge gust of wind, and the rope snapped, and the tent flew behind us.
Mm-hmm.
It knocked over our table and ended up actually breaking one of our quads.
Oh, man.
Or one of the tubs for the tea. So we're gonna have to fix that. But yeah, that was a whole bit of drama that happened.
Yeah, I was far away, and I saw a tent go, and I was like, "Oh no, what happened?" But there was a total of 3 tents that I witnessed at the event that got a gust of wind and took off going.
Yeah,
man. But I guess that's just the way it is when you do outside events.
Yeah, the weather was beautiful, but the morning setting up was very, very windy.
Have y'all done like outside events like that?
Not really. Most of the events that we do, we've only done a few, but most of them are inside. So this was actually, I think, probably our first outdoor event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours too. Oh man, but it was fun. And again, thank you so much for going out there. And
yeah, absolutely.
And I had a lot. I drank as much tea as I could, and it was good. And I'm still drinking some more.
I'm glad.
So hey, if somebody's trying to find you on social media, how can they find you? Maybe look at a menu and find you on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is going to be nobility, nobility.us, not .com, .us. You can follow us personally on Instagram. It's going to be nobility, spelled the same way, _Clear Lake, all one word. And that page is going to be run by my parents and I. And then our Facebook page is actually linked to our entire corporate website, or corporate Facebook page, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be, you just type in Nobility Clear Lake. And the option that you're going to see is going to be Nobility, and in parentheses is going to have our address, which is the 11510 Space Center Boulevard, Houston, Texas. Click that, hit like, hit follow, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Do they have like a .t? You know how like those domains, there's like more and more. It's like .internet, .online.
Yeah. No, we've always been .us. I'm not sure. I've never seen that extension before, so I was interested.
Yeah. You know what would be interesting if they came up with like a dot and then just the letter T? But that would be confusing. Nobility.t, and it's just like T. It's not coming up. Yeah, it's just .t.
Yeah, we are not that fancy yet.
Okay, hey, here's another comment that I have to read. This is from Carson. Said, "Hey, if my sweet tea isn't 50% sugar, it's not for me."
Hey, Carson, we can hook you up. We can definitely get that Southern Sweet. That will be certainly 50% sugar. And I have a good feeling you might enjoy that.
Okay, and then here's someone else's, Nina. She said, "I like slightly sweet, like a hint."
Yeah, definitely. And for that would be our semi-sweet option.
Mm-hmm. For you, what's your like preference?
Unsweet.
Unsweet.
I am an unsweet fan. I like the tea for the way that it tastes. I kind of like sometimes there's a little bit of a bitterness, and I really enjoy that. If I do put sweetness, I try and avoid like regular sugar, so I'll do like a stevia, like Truvia, something like that. In the Velocity, I actually like the Velocities. That's actually sweetened stevia, so I don't feel guilty for having that little energy.
Yeah, because that's coming from like a green
Yeah,
bean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the stevia, it comes from the stevia leaf.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's just a different plant where you can derive a natural sugar from it.
Cool. Right now it's 9:18. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us. It's Friday, and there is a lot of stuff going on this weekend that I think you're going to be getting into. So let me know if you're watching on Facebook. What are your plans this weekend? What do you have going on, and what kind of positivity are you going to be sharing? With it being fall, there's a lot of events going on coming up, and I'm looking at y'all's tea right now, like with the special flavor of the month. What are y'all planning for like November and December? Do you already have those, or it's kind of wait and see? It's
wait and see. A lot of it's actually experimentation. So like I said, our employees come up with the teas. Actually, my brother came up with the tea of the month. He also helps run the store. He's a huge help on the weekends. He has a full-time job, so he's very busy. But every now and again, Saturday, Sunday, he'll come down and be a huge help. He made a tea of the month during the summer, I believe. He called it Jake's Blues Crusher. My brother's name is Jake. Blues Crusher. It's the same base tea as the blueberry. It's going to be the blueberry white tea, and he added a blue raspberry energy to it. That's definitely been one of my favorite teas of the month that we have. But for November, December, it's tough to tell. We're gonna have to play with the flavors. I know for sure in November, I would like to have something with a little bit of the orange, a little bit of the cinnamon, kind of get those fall flavors, get you excited for Christmas a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll have to play with that a little bit. Nothing's set in stone yet.
How important is the coloring, like to match a theme? And because it's visually appealing. Like I look at this, glass, this cup of tea, and it's just like, oh, it's pretty to look at. The pretty colors.
Oh yeah, color is huge. Because we don't want it. Actually, for this tea of the month, I was trying to play with it a lot because I really wanted to get the look of like kind of blood dripping through the cup, kind of that kind of, I don't know, splooshing. Like I don't know why I said sploosh, but to get that kind of look. And but playing with it was really difficult. So we kind of had to settle a little bit visually for this month. But I have to show you the Easter tea that we made because that one was super important to me. We ended up doing, I'm trying to remember what the name of the tea was called. Let's see here. Is it that one? That's summer. It had little bunnies. There we go. So this tea of the month is called the Chubby Bunny.
Okay.
And so I kind of wanted, it was during the spring, it was during Easter time. So I wanted to have the vision of like you have the ground, like a beautiful blue sky, and maybe like a little bunny hopping around. And so we actually were able to kind of mimic those colors a little bit, and we have the bunny on top of the straw.
You can show that camera, and Ethan can get a shot of it right now, right here.
Oh, right there.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
for Easter?
That was for Easter. That's called the Chubby Bunny. that was a fun drink. But yeah, color. It's not like uber important, but I will say it's really fun to have a pretty looking drink.
It is
that people want to put on their Instagram or take a Snapchat of or do whatever kids do.
So here's a suggestion. This is from Jordan. He said, "What about eggnog tea? Is that a possibility?" At Nobility.
It's a possibility at Nobility. Maybe we'd have to play with it a little bit because a lot of it might come down to cost effectiveness. So if it's expensive to buy eggnog, then nobody's going to want to buy a $8 tea, right?
That's chai eggnog.
Yeah, we might be able to. It's like I said, something we could look into. I am not a huge eggnog fan personally.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are. So especially chai, that's actually a really good idea. Mix that with chai and see how that is.
Yeah, when you said the vanilla almond milk usually, or the 2%, and it's just like, man, because to me it's thick, and so like as a kid I remember drinking like, oh, this is like a milkshake,
right?
And liking it, and so if you thinned it out with some of that chai, that might give that good flavor.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That could be a good option for sure.
I'll just bring my own. Just bring my own eggnog. Let's take the chai. Yeah, I'll add my own, and we go.
Well, we actually started selling these little small personalized bottles of chai for that reason. If there's because we don't carry soy milk. That's really the only milk we don't carry is soy.
Okay.
But if you ever wanted to make a chai at home, we have these little personalized, I think it's either 12 or 16 ounce bottles of chai that you just add a little bit to your milk and good to go. So you could have an eggnog chai.
Oh, I would try it. So this is from Yvonne. This is a comment on Facebook. It says for February, bayberry. She said, get it? Something with strawberry. You're welcome.
Thank you, Yvonne. I'll have to take that in consideration.
Bayberry.
We could do something like that, right? We could make like a pink tea with or maybe like a red boba, like a strawberry boba in the bottom.
Yeah.
That could look good.
You could just reuse this one for boo berry, because it's like, oh, it's my boo.
It's my boo.
It's my boo. And it's just like, wait a second, wasn't this for doctors? Like, no, it was not. That was
I
different.
don't know what you're talking about.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Ethan, you have any ideas? Ethan's like the pun master. You probably haven't been thinking about it, huh?
Give me like 10 minutes to think about it, and I'll come back with something.
All right. Okay, right now it's 9:24. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We're hanging out, talking to Joel with Nobility. And there's a lot of comments that are coming in on suggestions. And I think that suggestions are good. How important is it to listen to customers and customer service to you guys?
Oh, it's huge. Customer service is just in general is huge for us. We want customers to come in. My mom, all of my family, we strive to know as many names of our customers as possible. So we have a morning crew of 10, 15 people that come in every single day. It's kind of like it's like Cheers. Everyone comes in. Hey, hey Vicky, how are you doing? Or so it's really fun. It's important to us that people feel welcome and that it's kind of a fun, safe, homey environment for people to come in and have a glass of tea or start their morning off. Or but as far as like creating drinks, like that's absolutely, like we definitely take our customers thoughts into consideration, and we want them to have a tea that they're gonna love and they're gonna come back for frequently. So that's cool. It's super important.
Do you ever just start making a drink when you see someone come in because you already know what they're gonna order?
Oh yeah. So I have a funny story. We have a gentleman that comes in every single day. His name is Chris, and Chris, we didn't know his name for probably a good 2.5 or 3 months.
Was he like chai tea, like whatever he is?
No, we actually called him Chai Guy, and we still do. We call him Chai Guy, and every single morning we'll see his car pull up, and we'll start his hot chai latte with vanilla almond milk. Same thing every morning, and then he'll come again in the afternoon for his lunch tea, and then for his lunch tea he actually tells us, hey, I don't know what I want. You decide. I don't like these two flavors. I don't like coconut. I don't like peppermint. Don't put them in the tea. I'm going to love it. Can't wait. And so we create a drink for him every single day.
And it's something different.
Something different.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes, there's a restaurant that I go to, and it's an Asian restaurant, and I go, and you order the same thing, and so then they start bringing it out. Then I'm scared to try new things. At that point, it's just like, I'm going to eat this, and it's good. But I'm like, my wife, like, hey, can I try your food? Because I'm scared to order something else. But it's always nice whenever, if somebody knows your name, they know what you get. They just remember. It makes a big difference.
That's my parents and grandparents and I every single Friday night, so tonight also. We go to the same Mexican restaurant we have for the past, I don't know how many, over a decade. And we know the waiter. We sit in the same spot every time. They bring the drinks. They bring, they know what food how we like it. And there's something nice about having that feeling. And having that sort of customer service, and that's kind of what we're striving for.
Here's a question. This is from my wife who's watching on social media. So good morning.
Good morning.
She said Tia Vanna used to have something called monkey picked oolong.
Okay.
But I liked it, and she wants to know if you know what that is, and if you have anything like it. What kind of weird? Jen, what were you drinking?
Yeah. So I know that's a very high quality. I think from my understanding that orange Peking, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Is a very high quality tea that is inordinately expensive for us to obtain. We do have an organic top shelf oolong tea, but it's not gonna taste like that. It's gonna be a little different.
What's oolong? Is it just kind of a leaf or something?
Yeah.
Or?
So oolong is actually gonna be very similar to like a black tea. The difference is, and actually, let's take this a step back, because last time I was on, you asked me a very good question, and I had a dumb answer for it. You asked me, when I said tea is processed, what does that mean? And I said I didn't know, and I felt very silly for that. So I went back and looked it up, and really the processing part of it is just oxidation. So when you come into our store, come into any store, and you see a black tea, for the most part, black tea is going to be crushed. It's going to be pretty fine, more or less, and that's to increase the rate of oxidation. So they'll put it in like a flame, they'll dry it out, and that's the processing part. So some teas can be fermented, like our red teas are fermented, but black teas, white teas, and green teas are all going to be dried, roasted to some extent.
Okay.
So black teas are going to be the most processed. They're going to be the most crushed, most dried. Then there's going to be oolong, which is just a step down from black tea. So it's going to be a little... not as crushed, but still going to be oxidized. Then there's green tea, which is crushed even less, oxidized even less. And then there's white tea, which is almost literally cut from the bush, straight and dried.
Okay. What's your favorite? It just depends?
It does depend. It depends on the mood. There's not a tea that I don't like. If I'm going to lean towards a tea, it's probably going to be a black tea, just because I like that caffeine. But if there's ever an afternoon or something where I need to go to sleep early, I don't want to stay up on caffeine, white teas and green teas are a great option too.
Yeah. Hey, are you a fan of the Astros? You've been watching and following?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think they close it out tonight?
Yeah, they have to.
And if you were drinking tea, like that's what I'm thinking, because like it's a little bit later nights, especially if you're rooting for the Astros.
Yeah.
And it's been making like these mornings like a little bit harder, throwing people off of their schedules stuff. So that's something I always think about. Like if I was drinking a soda or like watching, it's like you can't. Or you can, but it's going to make it even harder to go to sleep.
Absolutely.
Because your heart gets beating. Like in the 8th and 9th inning, you're already there, and then you like drinking something else, or if you have tea, it just adds on. So it's good to have options to be like, I want less caffeine or no caffeine. Yeah. What kind of options do y'all have for that?
So for, like I said, the less caffeine would be the white tea, and that's just a marginal amount of caffeine. So that will not keep you up. But then for the caffeine-free options for the people that can't do it at all or hypersensitive, something like this, we have herbal teas, we have wellness teas, we have the rooibos, the red teas that I mentioned before that are fermented. We have those as well. Lots of different options for no caffeine.
Cool. So let's see. Right now it's 9:30. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back on the FM, we can touch on how you got started in tea, because you didn't start out on a tea journey.
Right. No, I certainly did not. So, yeah. Well,
it just happened.
Yeah, it happened.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Bethel. The song's called Every Crown. Cool. Facebook. What's up, guys? Hey, I see a lot of people tuning in. Mr. Diego, good morning, sir. Officer Reyes. I got pulled over the other day.
Oh, no.
In Texas City, just trying to, be positive, support the cities, boost the economy, promote local business.
There it is.
That's what I was trying to do, Texas City, and had a meeting over there, and I was going up 146 to KHEA, and I love our first, the law enforcement officers and responders and everybody, but I got pulled over. I was going fast. I didn't know how fast I was going. My car just has a mind of its own sometimes, tries telling me to go to Texas Pit Stop Barbecue at 8:19 in the morning, and sometimes it goes 70 and a 55. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, no.
Right? Yeah, I got a ticket. I need to take care of that.
You should probably do that.
But when I go, I'm going to go to the court or wherever I'm supposed to go, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm just going to ask, because it doesn't hurt. Can you just dismiss this and see what they say?
It never hurts just to ask. They probably will say no.
They're going to look up and be like, no.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, never. They can't make it more expensive. So
yeah. When was the last time you got pulled over? Have you ever been pulled over?
Oh, yeah. I've been pulled over twice. One of them was by Pasadena PD, and then the first one was by Pasadena PD? It might have both been Pasadena now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think they were. They were both Pasadena.
Do you ever just hand a card or a gift card and be like, thank you, officer, for all you do. Here's a nobility gift card. Like trying to be like, I don't know.
That's a good idea though, because actually we do have a first responders discount at our store. We do like 15% off for all uniformed officers or officers in uniform.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea. Maybe that would kind of entice them. But I also don't want to get caught with like bribing a police officer.
But just wait till you get the ticket, like, and then after, so that way they know you're not trying to bribe them.
Okay.
And then, but next time, they'll be like,
Yeah.
I remember, or like if he gets all the officers going,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh yeah, no.
It's like maybe don't slip it in with your insurance card and driver's license.
No, don't do
This
that.
one's for you, officer.
I don't know the rules on all that, but like,
Yeah, maybe I'll try not to do that.
yeah, but after, just be like, thank you, for everything that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every day.
Yeah, we have a couple officers that come into our shop every morning. They don't get a single thing. They just come and check up on us. So we're really appreciative for all of the police officers and first responders out there.
Yeah. So I need to make a decision if I want to do like deferred disposition, if I want to do defensive driving.
Defensive driving for sure, I think is what you need to do.
Ticket. Yeah. There's like so many options now.
Yeah. If you do defensive driving, you save your insurance a little bit.
Yeah. The last 2 times I did it, which this is like over the span of my driving career, I did like the comedy one. Have you ever done like one of the comedy ones?
So painful.
It is. It hurts.
I did. That's the first one I did. Yeah. No, the comedy guys. Yeah. Not my jam.
And then the next one I did was online, which is painful too.
Oh, the comedy one I did was online.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I went in person. It was it Labrisa's?
Maybe it was better.
There was on 518 in Leak City on the west side of 45. There's a restaurant there, and I think it's changed names since. It's still there. It's a Mexican restaurant, but they had a whole room, and you went and did. I was probably like 18 years old, so it was like, mid 2005, say, I don't know, something like that. And yeah, you had to sit there and listen to the comedian, and then take the test. And then I did an online one where it was just like watch the video, then answer the questions, but you couldn't like skip ahead.
That's the one I did. So the one I did, it was a comedy one online. And it was the same way. They would show you videos, and then they would ask you the most obscure questions possible to make sure you're actually paying attention to the video. So the questions would be like, what kind of backdrop was Chuck sitting in front of? Or what color was his bow tie? Or something like that.
Not relevant to the...
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, the material.
So I couldn't even be doing homework or something. I would have to be totally dedicated, at least during the video time, to doing that.
Okay, my wife clarified. Marina's, that's the restaurant. Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
Over there. So, all right. Big decision to make for me.
Yeah.
Ethan, have you ever been pulled over? You haven't been driving that long, have you?
Yeah, I've only been driving for about 2 years now, and I haven't been pulled over yet.
How old are you?
17.
Oh. I definitely thought you were like mid-upper 20s.
I know, right? He's like 26 years old or something. The other day we had a guest in, and they were asking, because he moved here from Kentucky, and they asked where he lived, and he's like, well, I live with my mom, or like with my, and I was like, well, no, first of all, Ethan, he's not like 30 years old. He's 17. Like,
oh my gosh.
He's still in high school, but he's homeschooled, and so he's able to come in here and hang out and and hopefully have some fun.
Oh, it's always fun, especially when we have nobility. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Ethan, don't speed.
Don't speed.
What makes it difficult is all of the construction.
Yeah.
55, 40, 70, like I don't know, I just have to guess.
So, upon reflection upon my second ticket, my first one was Pasadena. My second one was actually in College Station. It wasn't here in Houston. And a motorcycle cop was hiding, and he got me.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. I can't hide it. I was going probably 55 and a 35. Like I didn't realize how fast I was going, but I knew I shouldn't have been going that fast.
And now they have these, it looks like this, kind of like a cell phone. It wasn't a cell, it was a little bit thicker, but they had a little stylus pen on there.
Oh, yeah.
And the ticket's electronic. It gets filed right
they're
in.
super efficient about giving you tickets.
They are. I was there for like 4 minutes. I was like, well, I was impressed.
That's pretty quick turnaround time.
He started writing the ticket before he even got to my car. Like, no joke, he had it out, and then and whenever I get pulled over, I always make sure that I take out my license because I don't want to be digging for anything.
Oh, sure.
My license, insurance, or whatever, and I just have my window down.
Yeah.
Hands on the on the steering wheel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to go. So he was this, and then he was like, I'm going to take a picture.
So there was no chance of a warning.
So there, he was there. He's like, I'm taking a picture because a lot of people say that it wasn't them. They try and deny it. And so he put the thing on me, and he took a picture. So I had like the biggest smile. Like I just like smiled really big, and he was like, that's a good picture. I was like, thank you.
New profile picture.
I was like, can you send me a copy of that? Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Okay, that's the other thing I'm gonna ask. Can you just dismiss this and we'll forget it ever happened? And then the other thing I'm gonna say is, you have a copy of the picture? Because I don't.
Yeah.
I need to check. Was that really
follow-up
me?
question? I'm still getting this ticket. Can I at least get that picture?
Facebook. I need to post it to my Facebook friends. Come on, come on. Hey, so our next guest is gonna be with UPW, and that's wrestling.
Okay.
Growing up, did you ever watch wrestling?
No, that was not my thing. I was more baseball, football, golf. That was my area.
Okay. Did you play golf?
I do, yeah. I still play golf. That's my sport of choice is golf.
We are trying to find a golf course to shoot this video idea that we have. Where around here are there golf courses that you can like that are like good or fun or at least like pretty? I think a lot of them are just like pretty, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some. There's some not great courses, but depending on how far you want to drive, I mean, you're pretty close to Galveston. Moody Gardens Golf Course is gorgeous.
Okay.
That's a beautiful one. If you want to go a little bit more that way to Friendswood, Timber Creek Golf Course is where I practiced the most in high school. That's another good one. There's, what's the name of it? Magnolia Creek. That's a great Magnolia Creek and South Shore in League City, South Shore Harbor. Those are all beautiful, beautiful courses.
All right. I wonder if they'll let us. It was just an idea that we had, but yeah, so the area that we live in is very diverse in people,
sure,
and areas too. Like as far as you think of KHEA, Galveston, you think of like League City, Santa Fe, Lamarck, Hitchcock, like all these places that you have. There's a little bit of everything. Like you say, oh, you can drive down to Moody Gardens, and it's like a resort.
Absolutely, Moody Gardens has grown so much since I was a kid. It's insane.
I actually have a 4-pack of tickets to the Moody Gardens Rainforest exhibit.
Oh, nice.
Over there that I've been waiting, and Ethan's like sneaking over. And I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to give them away. And I don't know how or when or where or to an officer, but they will be given away.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a set of hands, like I'll nab those.
I got 2 hands right here. So, all right. And then Officer Reyes said that Texas City has one too. It's cool. I'll have to check that out. Okay, so we'll play a little bit more of this song, and then we can go on the FM, and we'll talk a bit about how you got started in T, like the switch.
For sure.
Do you have a nickname? Because I could see someone being like, he's the T-man. You know?
I do not. I personally do not. My mom does.
What is it?
She's the tea lady.
Right.
We go, so our store is super close to an HEB, which is also super close to our house. So after work, we'll go get groceries or something like this, and there will be little kids with their moms, and they'll go, "Mom, look, it's the tea lady." And they'll be like, "Shh, stop talking."
It's like, I am.
Yeah.
I'm the tea plug.
Yeah.
Like you need tea, you come to me.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a good feeling to kind of get recognized in the community for for what you're doing and what you're selling, and it's a good feeling.
I agree. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see. So we'll play. We can just go ahead and go on now. Let's get into this. Here we go.
All right.
Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM, and hanging out with Joel with Nobility, talking about everything that they have going on. Joel, it's Friday.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to be a good one. The Astros play tonight. Life's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, life is great. I'm praying for a win. I think we got this.
And then the World Series. I think the Nationals are in.
Nationals.
They're in.
And they're a good looking team. It's gonna be a good fight.
It's the pitching, right? Their pitching's just like on fire at the right time for the Nationals, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's tonight. Make sure that you tune in and root the Astros to a victory. The game's in New York again, which I don't really like the 2-3-2 lineup.
You're right.
Because if you drop, then you have the opportunity to leave. You have the home field, you just lose away. And it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully they won last night.
Yeah.
Joel, you are from this area, and last time we chatted, we talked about how you were looking at school. And can you kind of share what you went to school for? Where'd you go? And then how did you end up down here with Nobility?
Right. So when I went, my undergrad again was in Texas A&M. I actually didn't study business or anything like that. I'm a biochemist by trade. And so, yeah, I went to school for that. And then there was a tea shop there that I absolutely adored. And I started to get to the point, and I had a job and everything, so all my money was my own. I wasn't using all of my parents' money. And so I'd be going there 3, 4, 5 times a week. And my parents were like, "Joel, what the heck are you getting at this tea shop? Like, what are you spending so much money on?" I said, guys, you don't understand. You have no clue how good this tea is. And they're like, Joel, it's tea. Come on. I was like, no, listen, next time you're up in College Station, like, let me take you there. It's absolutely incredible. And they're like, okay, whatever. So they come up maybe a month later, and I said, perfect. This is the opportunity. I'm taking y'all to the tea shop. So we take them there, and there was one tea that I always got. It was a mango blossom tea, black tea. It's fantastic. It's what got me hooked. And so that's what I recommend my parents. And before even tasting the tea, they walked into the shop, and it had a very similar feel to how our shop feels. Very homey, very welcoming. And my mom's name is Cindy. My dad's name is Fred. And my mom looked at my dad, Fred. She said, Fred, like, we need one of these in Houston and Clear Lake. Like, this needs to be a thing. And my mom worked for Clear Creek Independent School District for 17, 18 years.
What was she doing there?
So she started off when I was in kindergarten. She was started off as an aide, a teacher's aide. And then she slowly, actually pretty rapidly, if you consider the situation, progressed through the district. And so started off as an aide. Then she ended up as a special ed aide in particular. Then she went to becoming a resource teacher. So she finally got her own classroom. Then she went to the front office, and she worked as a data specialist in charge of like the student data for the school. And then she developed a really good relationship with the district data coordinator. And the data coordinator ended up saying, hey, I have this opening. I really want you to apply. Then she now works for the district.
Yeah.
And then the coordinator eventually left, and then my mom took her position. So literally she rose through the ranks. It's awesome. But so that's what she did for 17, 18 years. And my dad's been an accountant. He went to University of Houston, did finance and accounting. And so he's gone through several different positions. And like I said before, right now he's the CFO for a floral distribution company. So he's busting his tail. He's doing fantastic. I'm so proud of him. And so anyway, he has the business side. My mom has that sort of personality side from being in the school for so long. And so they just kind of fell into place. She ended up quitting, and now she has this amazing store that she's developed all these relationships with. And yeah, it's kind of, here we are.
And then with you being the biochemist, you also have the ability, you're like, okay, this tea and this tea. So you kind of come in with the flavors, mom with the personable, people skills, dad with the business side.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how it's been. Obviously, my mom has come up with several amazing drinks as well. But, yeah, I mean, I try and mess with the tea as much as I can. And I'm actually also, Yvonne, that you mentioned earlier, she's in my MBA class with me. I'm getting my MBA at the University of Houston also, graduating in May.
Awesome.
And, yeah, so it's really exciting. And so that kind of helped my dad out on the business front as much as I can, too.
Cool. How do you find the time?
Really good scheduling. That's really what it comes down to. Having a planner, just really sticking to it, and saying, I'm blocking this 2 hours out for homework. I'm blocking this 2 hours out for, nobility work. And then there's 6 hours for work. And then
it's like KHEA radio interview. I need to go to Taco Cook. And then I also have to keep, my school stuff going. But
yeah.
That's cool. That's, getting an MBA is a pretty big deal. It's not always the easiest to get into these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a process. It was a journey. And leaving A&M, I applied to 3 different programs. 3 different programs.
Yeah.
All of them were going to be based here in Houston because I wanted to be back at home. And one of them was at Rice. One of them was at UT, A&M, and at U of H. So I guess 4 programs. And UT, it was an automatic no because I didn't have the work experience that they were looking for. I applied anyway. I figured maybe they'll find an exception.
Right.
I am not an exception. And so then I got an interview with Rice, and I did not get an interview with A&M, which I was kind of surprised about. But I think the same thing. I didn't have the work experience that they were looking for the professional program. And so got an interview with U of H and with Rice, and I was able to get into both of them. And then I saw how much Rice was charging, and I saw that U of H gave me a scholarship, and I said, U of H, go Cougs.
Go Cougs. Yeah, all right, let's go. Let's go. Did you have to take the GRE?
Yeah, so that's actually a new thing. Before, I think you could take, there was a business test, and I'm forgetting the name of it. But that's usually what it was before. They just started either this year or the year prior accepting the GRE, and that was the test that I already taken, so it worked out well.
Yeah, because I had looked at, for most, MBA programs, they're like, oh, we want your GRE.
Yeah.
And for me, I have a master's degree in technical communication from Arizona State, and that was one thing they didn't require was a GRE, and I was like, sweet. Plus, I'm a big Rockets fan, and James Harden went to Arizona State. And then I started looking at the stuff, and I was like, so that was just the only – I applied it a couple places, and that's where I got in, so I was good to go. But that was like one thing I was like, no GRE, sweet. I don't want to have to study, to take a test that hopefully you'll let me in. Just this is what I've done, and this is what I do,
Yeah.
So
and it worked out too for me because the GRE is also what you take to get into a bunch of different PhD programs. And in my junior and senior year of college, I was still thinking I wanted to go get a PhD in chemistry. And it ended up not working out that way just because I had a sort of falling out with my research professor, and he sort of killed my love for that a little bit. And so ended up going the MBA route. And this was right as we got the start of the nobility as well.
Made sense.
So I was like, this is perfect. Like I can help my family out, get a graduate degree. And also it helps me in my future because at the end of the year in May, I'm not going to be pretty much here in Houston anymore. I'm going to be moving to California. So,
what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So the move to California is actually going to be, and it's still tentative. Nothing is set in stone. Yvonne, Craig, Chris, or whoever else is worried that I'm going to leave them.
Like, what about the project we're working on here? What's going
on? No, that's not set in stone. But what I want to do is out there. So I'm going to get my MBA. My focus is in marketing analytics, product marketing. And so there's a position that I want, but I have to be out there for it. So I interned for it this summer. Actually, I was in California this summer, and I absolutely adored it. So
can you share what it is? Or
yeah, no, I absolutely can. So the company I work for, it's called Agilent Technologies. And I don't know sure if you're familiar. There's a huge, one of our largest competitors is Thermo Fisher, and it's kind of like our big one. They're here in Houston also. But Agilent Technologies, we manufacture biochemical analysis equipment. So we sell a lot to refineries to test like petroleum purity, or we sell a lot to academia, like research college institutes, stuff like that. Pharmaceuticals, biopharma, those are a huge customer of ours as well. And there's actually a funny story. Another major customer of ours is the U.S. Olympics. And the Olympic Committee, this would have been probably a few, maybe 10 years or so ago. We had just released a brand new instrument. And these instruments, like I said, are used to do some sort of screening. So you can do like drug testing on them. And so top of the line instrument, no one has anything like it. The Olympic Committee buys 5 of these instruments for drug testing. After it was publicized that they purchased these instruments, we also got a large order from the government of Russia for the same instrument. Now, I'm not correlating one thing to another, but you put the pieces together however you wish to.
It's getting hot in here. I don't even know. I don't even know why. The temperature just dropped. Man, okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny.
Well, that's pretty cool though. Like the one of the clients is the U.S. Olympics.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. The U.S. Olympic Committee. Okay. Dang.
Yeah.
So that's out in California.
Yes, it is in Santa Clara is the official, but it's between San Jose and San Francisco. So North California.
Yeah, San Jose, San Francisco. So my wife, she went to school, and there was a school in San Francisco. She got a master's degree in art history, and so like out there, it's really nice. But it's like windy all the time there. I'm just letting you know.
Oh no, I
it's gonna be like taco cook-off morning,
but
every day.
All the time.
That's one thing. I was like so cold. Like when we were out there, I was like, why am I so cold? It's like, do you like this? But there's like zero humidity, and
it's amazing.
But the airport there, and have you flown into San Francisco's
airport?
Yeah,
I've flown into San Francisco. I've flown into San Jose. I've flown into most of the airports.
Man, that airport, like it was kind of weird because you land and it's like the water. Like I'm looking out the window, I'm like, okay, I don't see the land.
This is it.
There's water right underneath us, and then next thing you know, you're like on the land. It was the weirdest thing ever.
It's scary
going there. Yeah. Didn't make sense. If you've been to San Francisco Airport, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If not, go check it out.
Yeah.
And then you can say hi to Joel when he's working
Yeah.
pretty much for the Olympics. He's pretty much an Olympian.
I'm I'm just waiting for my gold medal. It's coming in the mail at some point.
All right, so right now it is 9:52 on a Friday morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. We've been talking about everything nobility and what Joel has going on and balancing life and work and everything else. So time management, that's the secret. I'm going to write that down.
It really is.
I'm going to write that down. That's probably what I need help on. Where do you learn that? Is that something that you just like developed on your own, or is that something you like specifically researched to see how do I balance all of this?
I wouldn't say I learned it on my own, but I definitely didn't research it either. My mom is extremely organized, and so I feel like I got a lot of her organization and sort of implemented that in my sort of life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm super into, like, my phone right now has like a total detailed list of everything I need to do today, including like for work and like this interview and like, everything in total.
Do you use your calendar app, or is there a special app that you have for
Just
it?
the calendar app.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing special. Not into buying things I don't have to.
Yeah, that's what I use as mine too, like the calendar, and that's the thing that I didn't understand. I'm still going back to this. My phone trying to tell me that I need to go to Texas Pit Stop Barbecue. Did you saw the picture?
Yeah, I
right?
did. I saw that picture for sure.
Because if you see it says 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, it has your name. It says Joel Nobility. I was like, why? Phone, why did you think that I could make it? You know, I got 40 minutes. Go eat like a big barbecue meal and then make it back real quick. Like, you know where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Why are you tempting me? You know,
Yeah, and they're not even open yet.
They're not even open yet.
You'd be waiting a little bit.
I would miss the interview here on KHEA with you, you know, talking about nobility, and then I would just be the 11. I'd be like, whoops. You know, I missed my entire show.
Yeah, I meant to ask, do you do like mobile? Like, do you ever take this mobile and do like mobile broadcast, stuff like that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So
We do.
Maybe I wanted you to do that. Maybe a mobile broadcast, get some barbecue, and we can talk about tea and life and all that fun stuff.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. See, I didn't think about that. Yeah, we have the ability to go mobile. So if you want to reach out and you have an idea for a show that makes sense, we can make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can make it happen. So like this gear, like even the video and everything. Well, we have a different board and you know some mics that are mobile and different headphones and stuff. But it goes in a backpack. We can set it up. So, well, I'm not even going to mention that, but we're looking at doing live sports and be on the lookout for that as well through social media and over the air and every other way. So right now, let's see, it's 9:55. Is there anything else you'd like to share or retouch on before 10 o'clock?
No, just like us on Facebook. Like I said, the name's going to be Nobility. You can type in Nobility Clear Lake. It'll show up Nobility in parentheses with our address, which is 11510 Space Center Boulevard, Houston, Texas. Follow us on Instagram. The Instagram handle is going to be Nobility, NOBILITEA _Clear Lake. And that's what we're going to post all of our good stuff, all of our specials, you know, if we're running any discounts on gallons or anything like that. So follow us, be on the lookout, and thanks for having me, man.
Is your mom's name Cindy?
It is Cindy, yeah.
Good morning, Cindy. She said that he had a life plan at 13, talking about you, that you kind of had the whole thing together. Huh?
That's a whole thing, too. I wanted to be an architect for the longest time, and I looked up to U of H's architecture school like no other because it's one of the best in the country. And so there was one day at 13 where I was really bored in the morning. I was literally looking through all of the different classes that U of H offered in their architecture program. And I made a whole list and I sent it to my parents. I'm like, here's my life plan.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've always been sort of a dedicated type person.
What school district did you go to? Like, what
Clear
school?
Creek Independent School District. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. So me growing up, I played music and I wanted to be like in a rock and roll band, and that's all I wanted to do. I was like, well, that would be my life plan. And you don't see me playing rock music today. So life changes, but hey, you know, it's just interesting the way life. I mean, even for you, you know, as well and stuff. So
yeah, it's been great. It's been a roller coaster.
Cool. Well, thank you for hanging out, and thank you for the tea.
Of course, enjoy it.
It's delicious. Remind me one more time what kind of options that you brought in, because I remember the Boo Berry.
Yeah, the Boo Berry Brew. So what you're drinking right now, that's going to be the mulled wine. That's a winter seasonal tea, which actually we don't have yet technically. This is just a preview or a tea view, if you will, of our winter selection. So just wanted you to get that and get excited for the winter. We got a bunch of good stuff coming out.
Cool. Hey, Jordan. he had said a couple things with ET Lockout. So shout out to Jordan. He had said he's about to head over there, I guess, to the shop. And then also, he said that they use some of those instruments in their lab. So some of the stuff that
they absolutely do. Mass specs and all that stuff. I know. I think he works for SDS, and they're another new customer of ours, or more recent customer.
Yeah, and then also he said, "Don't move, don't go to California." So there's that. There's that as well. So, all right, we're gonna take a break on the FM. When we come back, we're gonna be talking UPW again. Joel, thank you, and make sure that you go check out Nobility and sample some of these drinks that
absolutely
that I've had, as well, and they're awesome. So this is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. All right. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
About to switch it up and talk some wrestling, local wrestling. Man, I'm a big fan of wrestling.
Are you?
Well, I watched a bit until my mom made me stop. I have an older sister, but she's like 2 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So like in junior high, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put you in the figure 4 leg lock and like scorpion death lock. I'm like 11, and
so
she didn't like it.
Into like the professional wrestling or like the WWE?
Oh yeah, well it was WCW because it was WWF back then,
right.
And then they were like a little bit more, I don't know, they call it like the Attitude Era. So my mom was like, "You're not watching this," and I was like, "That's fine, I'll watch the WCW." I got like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Sting, and like Lex Luger, those guys. So that's what I grew up with, and then but I had like my Nintendo 64, playing the video games and. The NWO was a thing, so that's what I got into, and it's fun because now they have these local promotions, and I'll take my son, whenever I can, and go check it out. And so my cousin, he's like 20, he does some wrestling, but he wrestled at he's from Katy, and wrestled like all 4 years in high school, but he got into it because of the WWE, like watching. It's like, oh, I'll do this in high school.
That's something I always wondered. I wondered how many people actually got into actual wrestling from the WWE.
Yeah.
I was curious to see that.
That was him, and I know his little sister did too, and they went to like Katy is a pretty good like I don't know, like their school and stuff. So I know they like went to state, and she like placed in her division like top 4, and then they won state like collectively as a team. Specifically getting into wrestling, amateur wrestling in high school because of watching the WWE. So my cousin now, he is pursuing his professional wrestling career, and I've been able to watch and root him on. So it's pretty neat to see him follow his dreams. Like, why not, man?
Yeah,
go for it. So,
awesome.
But I know sometimes it's not the easiest life, because these guys, they're working their full-time job,
right,
and then got to go on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or wherever, to go wrestle and get some bumps and bruises.
Some pretty nightmare stories about how they kind of treat the professional wrestlers, that they're not treated the best, and how hard they work and the hours they work and the strain they put on their body too.
Yeah, every day, and then get up and do it again.
Yeah.
So, hey, thank you.
All right, man.
I'll see you soon. Hey, holler at me if you need anything or for whatever, okay? All right, so we're going to be talking UPW. Hey, we're going to have Bart Harrison, and I see that Mr. Johnny Blade, he said Blade's Bunch is greater than the NWO. You're probably right. You are probably right. Yeah, I think we may be able to have you call in. For whatever reason, my phone wasn't properly connecting to the board, but as of yesterday, I made a change, and I think we may be able to have him. Hey, you want to drink? Do you drink tea?
No, I got water.
I don't drink tea either, but this is Nobility, and I don't drink tea, but this is like a blueberry. I don't. You got some water?
No, shoot, I'll give it a shot.
If you want to try it, yeah.
No, why not?
Because I'm already chugging. I'm chugging this one. Ethan has his, and it has a big straw because it has like little blueberry things in there.
Yep, I got one.
All right. Hey, how you doing today?
Doing real good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. You can adjust that mic if you want to, if you need to pull it up or anything like that.
Okay.
So, Bart, your last name is Harris, right?
Yes, sir.
Bart Harris. Where are you from?
I grew up in Lamarck. Actually, when I was a kid, y'all know Nate Laws. Mm-hmm. We grew up probably 2 blocks from each other.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I had wrestled shows with him, and I didn't realize who he was when he was a kid. I used to do massage. I was a sports massage person, so I went to his house, and he had a shoulder injury, and we got talking. and I saw his name on Facebook, and I said, I asked him, "What's up with this name?" I thought your name was Nate, and well, it's my real name. And I said, and he said, but it's pronounced, Narcisse, and I was like,
Yeah.
Narcisse. I said, did you live on, Oleander when we were kids or whatever? He said, yeah. Wow, I knew you way back when. So,
That's cool.
Yeah, kind of an interesting story from way back.
Yeah. Did you go to Lamarck High School?
I did. 95 graduated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Lamarck in the 90s. I know Nate. What's his real name?
Narcisse. Yeah.
He played on some of those football teams, and Lamarck was like a powerhouse back then. Those were
they went to state 3 years in a row, and then won state 3 years in a row, I believe.
Wow.
After the year after I graduated was when they won the first time.
Okay, so in high school, like when did you get into wrestling, professional wrestling? What is it that brought you there to that passion?
When I was a little kid, my dad would watch Paul Bosch on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, whenever it came on, and I hated it because my dad would pay attention to the TV and not me.
Yeah.
But then one day I just saw, I want to say maybe the Ultimate Warrior when he was still with World Class, and something clicked, and it just all of a sudden I fell in love with it. Decided that was something I wanted to pursue. Just watch, study, learn. Yeah, and it's just been a passion since I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And that era of wrestling. Who was wrestling, and like, do you think that's? I mean, what do you think about it compared to, I guess, today and then the journey that wrestling's taken?
Today, actually, the business really has picked up recently. There's a lot of new promotions that are getting either cable or internet. The internet's you can watch everybody now. Back in those days, you might get Houston Wrestling and World Class out of Dallas, and some guys got the Tennessee promotions or whatever. But they everybody had different styles back then, so it was kind of Houston was unique. You had Lucha Libre and you had the Texas kind of death match style stuff, and it was a real good blend in Houston, which I like. I try to do that with my shows still too. Is a good blend of action. But now you can find comedy wrestling, you can find the Japanese or the lucha or British wrestling, or all different styles and all different types of wrestling, and it's amazing for the fans.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if you know this. Do you know somebody by the name of Johnny Blade?
I do know Johnny Blade, yes.
How is that relationship? Is it good? Is it rocky? Because I see he was mentioning drink the tea, like he's saying drink the tea, and he really wants to. I don't know. I don't know if you should be concerned. I just got a text message that he may be calling in, and I don't know how to take this. Is there any concern for safety?
Johnny's got his hands full tomorrow night. Silverback Nate Slater, who you've met. Johnny's met in the ring once before, I believe, and
I did. That didn't look comfortable. That did not look comfortable.
Well, he was on Facebook commenting about what he would do and how he would handle things, and our commissioner, Iron Mike, decided, Johnny, we're going to go ahead and put you in the match too, just to see, how you would do. And so it's an interesting setup. Johnny's going to be teaming with the guy he manages now, Jesse Logan, and they're going to be both challenging Slater for the UPW championship. So
wow,
yeah, so it's going to be fun.
I mean, okay, it sounds like a good idea, but this could all backfire. Johnny comes out the UPW heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, Johnny was a talented wrestler back in his day, and I mean,
he could shock the world.
Anything's possible. We'll say anything is possible. Iron Mike was Johnny's tag team partner, which is kind of years ago they were the New Breed. They were Texas All-Star Tag Team champions. They have a long history, so it's kind of it's an interesting scenario. We don't really know where Iron Mike lies on this deal. If he will be at ringside, so it could be 3-on-1. I mean, the way it's kind of interesting setup.
It seems like that's the plan, but I don't know. I'm just thinking. I think it may backfire. Like that's the unexpected always happens. It can happen.
And that's why you have to be there live and get a ticket, because you never know what's going to happen.
So I understand it's in Bay Cliff.
Yes, sir. Bay Cliff, at the Bay Cliff Fire Station on Grand Avenue.
Okay. Yeah. There was 2 other promotions. It's a brand new promotion, right?
Yeah, we're less than a year old.
Mm-hmm.
But we're doing pretty good so far. I mean, we like to say we can hold our own with anybody, and our guys would do well on anybody else's shows. So.
Yeah, and the others were in Santa Fe, I think, and I had the opportunity to attend the one before. This one's in Bay Cliff. Mm-hmm. It's at the fire station?
Yeah, there's a pavilion right behind the fire station, big building. So.
I think I've seen that. It's a pretty nice fire station, pretty nice building.
It looks fairly new. I mean,
think it is.
I've been there a couple times, and they seem excited to actually work with us too. So that's a really good thing for us.
Mm-hmm. And then I see Chevy just tuned in. He said, he said, "What's up" to Ethan, because Ethan had said, "What's up, Chevy?" But I understand Chevy's going to be making his announcing debut. Like, he's going to be emceeing, helping.
Yeah, he's going to be doing the ring announcing for us this time, and we're real excited about that. He's a super talented guy. Obviously, y'all know that. He's on here a lot. He made my hair look a little better, I think. He does all kinds of stuff, man. He's a good cat, and I'm glad to see him get a shot at it.
He's a jack of all trades.
He is, absolutely.
He's a jack of all trades for sure. So let me see if I can. I'm going to copy this number, and I think I'm going to try and give Mr. Johnny Blade a call. Okay. And I honestly don't know if this will work. Let me see. Because I'm supposed to be able to get a dial tone, and I should be connected. Ethan, what would it take to get you in as the Ginger? What did we say that your wrestling name was?
Ginger Steel or Opie? I'm not sure which one I like more, because I really like Opie.
Okay. Oh, man. Let me see. Okay, we're going to try and connect. And are your headphones working? No. They're not. Yeah, there's something that went out. Man, we may have to get. Well, maybe this might work, because I'll be able to hear everything, and I guess we'll. And I'll relay the information back. Let's see if this works. Okay. Opie. What's up, Opie?
Loving life, enjoying tea, listening to KHEA.
What do you have planned for this weekend?
I'm helping Kurt with a couple things. We're going to, I think it's a volleyball tournament today. I'm not really sure what all that entails, but I'm sure it'll be fun.
We're going to be talking to Mr. Johnny Blade.
Wow.
Can you hear any of the bleed over or anything?
No.
Hello, Johnny Blade here.
Hey, Johnny Blade. This is Gardy with KHEA Radio. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Gardy. Did I win something?
Did you win? You know what? You won the opportunity to tell your side of the story. I understand that there was a little bit of drama. I guess there's Iron Mike. He kind of threw you into a match last minute, and I'm thinking you may go and shock the world, because I saw a response that you put out saying, "Hey, I didn't sign up for this. What's going on? What's your side of the story?"
Well, I'll tell you, Gardy, here's my side of the story. The fact of the matter is I should not be in this match at all. I should not be in a physical role without, ample time to prepare. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and there's no way I should be in this match. But you know what? I got to thinking, Commissioner Mike Legan knows what he's doing. We go way back to the 90s. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, he has he has faith in me. Let's just put it that way. He has faith in me.
You think okay, because I didn't know if he was doing it saying like, hey, I don't know, he's trying to get you injured. I think it's either one or the other. It's an extreme, like he's either trying to get you injured or he's throwing you a bone saying like, oh, you're going to take him out.
Well, you're going to see tomorrow night. I'm not going to get injured. First of all, I have Jesse Logan next to me, one of the best in the whole state, a guy that doesn't get enough respect, enough recognition. But I'll tell you what, tomorrow night, all that's going to change, because tomorrow night, 6 months from the day that stupid, smelly ape won the championship, he is going to lose it. He will lose it. You mark my words, and I'm going to be a part of that, and I'm going to help it happen.
Oh, my goodness.
Can Bart hear me? Because Bart, I'm going to tell you what. I'm telling you one thing, Bart. UPW is going to become huge once Jesse and I take over. Well, and the whole bunch is going to take over. Duperon, Alistair, everybody. Wow. And I may even have a surprise member.
Really?
Man, he
That's
sounds
right.
pretty confident.
Well,
This is the
so
takeover.
Sick of people constantly talking trash. I'm so sick of the fans constantly calling me names and talking crap about me. I don't do anything wrong. I never interfere.
Hey,
what
so
did I ever do to deserve all this horrible treatment?
well, there was a picture of you giving a chain to Jesse, I believe.
You know what? That's not true. You know what that was? That was a gift. I gifted him a sterling silver necklace.
Oh, well, it looked like a logging chain.
very sturdy. It was a very sturdy one. Hey, I see that you had left a comment that said, "Hey, this should be my interview. Bart stole it, always stealing my thunder." Is that true?
Ever since we were in 5th grade.
5th grade. So y'all go back. So Johnny, you're from Lamarck as well.
His uncle is married to my mother.
So there's some hostility there, I sense.
Well,
Well, there's not hostility. There's not hostility because of that. That's fine.
Oh, that part's okay. Okay.
Yeah, that part's fine. Here's what's not fine. Here's what's going to happen tomorrow night. Mr. Harris, you listening?
yeah. Well,
New UPW champion. You will not have Slater anymore. What you need to do is you need to find you a new poster boy, and you have with Jesse Logan.
Johnny, I think
guarantee
you
it.
may be the
I'm
poster boy.
yeah. I mean, that's a possibility.
I'll tell you
right?
what I am. I am the best manager in all of professional wrestling. Okay, I make champions. I turn nothings into champions, and that's what I'm going to do tomorrow night.
Hey, you know what? So tomorrow night, where can people find out more information about UPW? Johnny, where can somebody get a ticket to go to root you and Jesse on?
Well, you know what? I don't know.
You can get the
They can
tickets.
call Bart to get a ticket.
Well, you can get the tickets at the door. For adults, it's $15. For kids, 12 and under is $10. And you can also on the posters that are shared all over Facebook and everywhere. My phone number. You can call me, and we can do PayPal, however you want to do it. But if you want to see Johnny,
don't call me.
He's going to give your number out. He's like,
yeah, we could. I've got your number somewhere.
Yeah, well, that won't go over very well. And I tell you what, just one more time, people need to come out and see this because it's been 5 years since I have gotten in the ring. 5 years, and it was against Jake the Snake Roberts. And what I did to him is going to look like a trip to Disneyland compared to what I do to that stupid, smelly ape tomorrow night.
Well, I do remember at Coastal Mania, you did step into the ring. Rikishi had something to say about that, though, if I remember right.
oh.
Yeah, do you remember what Rikishi used to do years ago?
Oh, I remember exactly what Rikishi used to do.
Do you
Don't tell
remember,
me, Johnny. Don't tell me, Johnny, that happened.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think he
I'd rather
remembers.
not talk about that. I'll tell you what, I have, my memory isn't so great, so
After
I
that
don't even know
moment.
what he's talking about.
Yeah, the connection just kind of went in and out there for a bit, I think. But, man. So how long, Johnny, how long have you been in the wrestling business? How long have you had this passion for professional wrestling?
I first got in the business in 1990. June of '94 was my very first match.
And have you had the opportunity to wrestle, multiple places? Where all have you been? Where has wrestling taken you?
Mostly the state of Texas. Wrestled a little bit in Louisiana. Wrestled a little with what they call enhancement talent with WWF. That was in the '90s. You can actually find that on YouTube. Bushwhackers versus Johnny Blade. It'll pop right up.
Awesome. So Johnny Blade, you've had the opportunity, right here from, our area, Lamarck, Texas, knowing Bart since y'all were kids, to go and represent our area, Lamarck, all over. That's pretty cool. Last
Absolutely.
night I was at an event it was the Texas City ISD Education for the Future, which now embodies Lamarck, schools and Texas City schools. And there was a bunch of people that were from both schools that have gone on and done some really cool things. Either, started a business or played in the NFL or just like all kinds of really cool things. And it just had me thinking, like, all these people, like yourself, Johnny, and like Bart and Nate Laws, and these people from our area that have gone on and made an impact, and just continue to do really cool things. And a lot of times Lamarck, I feel, doesn't get the proper, spotlight on all the positive things that on people and on businesses and just cool things that happen here.
Lamarck was it was a good place to grow up. I really, I had a lot of good memories growing up. It still had the small town feel. I honestly, I was always proud. I was proud to represent Lamarck everywhere I went. I moved out of the area several years back, but I still live close. So
Yeah.
I always have a special place for Lamarck.
Yeah. What about
and also, there was nothing like going to a Friday night football game in the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For Lamarck, I mean, it was just one of those special feels. Lamarck's a great place, and you're right, and that's what KHEA Radio is for, to bring back. You guys are keeping it alive. You guys are, going to local businesses and keeping the spotlight on Lamarck, which is a great thing you guys are doing, Gardy. So I do appreciate that, doing that for my hometown.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we love to do, to put a spotlight and show the positivity. There's still a lot of cool stuff, businesses and growth and development that's still happening. But yeah, so it's fun stuff. Hey, you know what, Johnny? Thank you for calling in. Can you let everybody know one more time what they can expect to see tomorrow night whenever you step in the ring?
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow night, people, you need to come out to Bay Cliff to watch that no good, moron, Nate Slater, this big bully who likes to bully older people. Doesn't respect his elders, so that's why he tries to put his hands on me. So, it's going to be Jesse Logan and myself, 2-on-1 against Nate Slater for Nate's heavyweight championship. That's the main event. There's 5 other great matches as well, tag team titles on the line. But what people can expect is me getting in the ring and taking it to Nate Slater. Nate Slater he has no clue how to prepare for me. He doesn't know what he's getting into. He doesn't know if I can still go or not. But I'm going to show him tomorrow night that I indeed can still go. And with Jesse Logan by my side, we're walking out with the UPW championship. Guaranteed.
All right. Well, you heard it here on KHEA Radio. Make sure that you go to that event. It's tomorrow night. The Beatdown in Bay Cliff, I believe, is what it's
Thank
been
you, guys.
branded.
I'm out.
Hey, thank you, Johnny. Woo! And just like as soon as he came in, he is out just as quickly as he came in. Man, that's awesome. So thank you, Johnny, for taking the time to call in. I'm excited. I feel like it's going to be a great time. I'm also excited because Chevy's going to be making his announcing debut.
Yeah.
And he was probably born for this, if we're being honest.
He's, like I say, he is very multifaceted. So he's a good guy, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job. I know he's going to knock it out of the park. No problem with that at all. He just does everything he touches seems to work out really well, I believe. So
that's true. He was planning his outfit. Last time I talked to him, I was like, do you know what you're going to wear? Because that's a big deal. Making this, are you wearing like a tuxedo? Like, what route are you taking? And so he has something planned, I think.
Yeah, he told me he's got a couple different ideas, and honestly, because of who he is and his personality, I'm going to let, a lot of wrestling announcers want to come out looking like in a suit or whatever. I know his personality. If he wants to come out in a suit, then I know it's going to be awesome. If he wants to come out in something else that just says Chevy, I'm down with that too. So
yeah,
he's I know he's going to get the crowd hyped up. It's going to be a fun time.
100%. So we're talking to Bart with UPW. This promotion hasn't quite hit a year old yet. What made you want to start a wrestling promotion?
This is something I wrestled. I started wrestling in '95 and did the local circuits around here for, I don't know. I had my last match in 2009. I took several layoffs over the years just because family reasons and different things. But I love the business, and there were a lot of guys that I thought could be used, could get a spotlight put on them where other promotions, they may not get the chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and scouted, multiple promotions, different shows all over the area to handpick talent. I picked out guys I really thought could carry a promotion if they were presented the right way. And I also there is a style of wrestling that's very modern, and it's constant movement, and I wanted something a little bit old school feeling. I mean, the stuff that I grew up on and the business I came into. And I think there's still a big market for that. I still think that people will turn out and they'll want to see really competitive big guys, not just – and there's guys now, they're amazing talents, especially in this area. We have Reality of Wrestling over there turning out top-notch guys. I mean, they're guys that could be on TV tomorrow. But I've got guys that I think could hang with anybody. I've got big dudes. You've seen my champion, Nate Slater. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. Jesse Logan's probably 6'2" and 265. I mean, there's big guys. Yeah, and these dudes should be representing companies. They should be getting a lot of matches. And yeah, I just love wrestling. I just want to present my view of it and how how I used to watch it, how it made me feel. I want people to still get that.
Cool.
I like the little kids seeing people, and kids go nuts at these shows. They have a blast, and they want to wrestle each other and their dads and cousins.
And your sister, that's why my mom made me stop watching wrestling. I was like, in junior high, I was like, hey, delete. My sister's name, Delisi. Try to put her in the figure 4, Scorpion Deathlock, and the Lion Tamer, back when it was, when Chris Jericho called it that. But that's my mom was like, you have to stop watching. Like, I had my Nintendo 64, my video games, and everything. But It's okay. I shouldn't have been doing that to my sister. I didn't have a brother. But right now we're talking to Bart with UPW and learning about everything that they have going on. There is an event tomorrow night taking place in Bay Cliff at the fire station, and you can find out more by liking UPW on Facebook.
UPWTX on Facebook, UPWTX on Instagram, and on Twitter, we're UPWTX1. So.
Cool.
So, your cousin's a wrestler, right?
Yes.
JT Royce?
JT Royce.
Yeah, JT. He's actually on my next show. We're doing November 15th in Santa Fe over at Arcadia First Baptist Church. It has a big gymnasium. We're going to run there. And JT's going to be on that show, so cheap plug for that.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin, JT. So he's the one who he wrestled, grew up in the KHEA area and wrestled, all 4 years. Right. But he got into wrestling in high school from watching WWE.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That put him on that path. He's a big fan of going and watching the wrestling matches and all that and on TV. And then it kind of started him on that journey. And I was talking with Joel with Nobility right before he took off, and he was like, I wonder how many people got into, amateur or Olympic style wrestling because of the WWE.
I think it happens a lot more than people realize, because when you're a kid, you just, I want to be a wrestler, and your parents go, well, let's sign them up for wrestling class or whatever, and you get in there and you're not doing a flying elbow drop or something. Yeah. You're like, where's the ropes? And this is real wrestling. Is what the coaches will always tell you. But there are a lot of guys that go from, say Olympic style wrestling to MMA or into pro wrestling. And then, it's a great base for martial arts, for professional wrestling. I support it. There was a local club up out of Magnolia a while back, Boneyard Wrestling, that we went up and, saw their shows. It was fundraisers for their school and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely supporters of amateur wrestling. Sometimes they like to point out, we're real wrestling. Well, my guys are real.
They're athletes. It takes a lot of athleticism.
Oh, for sure.
And those, whenever you get hit, man, you see it's a hit. You get hit, you get hit.
Yeah, people always ask. They'll ask that question all the time. Use what I call the F word. But yeah, I mean, you can't fake gravity. I don't care what anybody says. No matter what, you can't fake gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know how to fall. Every judo guy, every boxer, everybody knows how to protect themselves when they fall. It's part of football players, part of your training.
Right.
It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that, anything like that. These guys are serious athletes. They train multiple times a week. They're in the gym. They're in the ring. Their bodies take serious abuse. I was in there. I know. I have, my ankles are pretty bad now. I have a hard time running or walking sometimes just because my time in the ring.
Yeah,
but it's a passion, something you
it has
love
to
it.
be. You have to love it
for sure. Yeah, and it's addictive. You really, you get in there and want to just want to keep going.
So there was a comment earlier, I believe it was from Ian, who watches from the UK, but he mentioned Tyson Fury, who is a boxer, and I believe that he signed an agreement with the WWE to make some kind of crossover and then potentially another one. But you see that with these professional wrestlers, or like I look at Brock Lesnar, grew up wrestling.
Yeah.
And then went to, WWE to MMA. You got like Batista.
Right.
I don't know what his training and background was, but just like going back and forth with Tyson Fury, like making the jump over.
Right.
It just makes sense. I mean, these guys are athletes. A lot of them have the training, and they can do it.
Conor McGregor's another one that honestly I would like to see. I mean, he's a loose cannon, I think, but I think he's a very calculated businessman, and the money's there for him. You know, I think it's going to bring eyes to the wrestling show. I think it's going to put money in everyone's pocket. So if they want to get in there, more power to them.
I'm a fan of Conor because he may not have been the first to bring that over, that persona.
Chael Sonnen was another that used the wrestling character to bring some flash to MMA, which I think it needs. I think, I honestly consider MMA and professional wrestling to be really close to the same thing. It's, there's apples and oranges differences, I think, but at the same time, it's also very, very similar businesses.
And now people almost have to. You almost have to have the persona to match, where you have to have a build-up somehow to get people interested, the drama.
Yeah, and that's where wrestling has always stood out. Muhammad Ali watched Gorgeous George, and he wanted people to put their eyes on him and want to spend money to see him fight, or just maybe see him lose. He didn't care as long as they spent their money.
Exactly.
And that's the name of the game. You get the interest in on you, and they look and they want to spend their money to watch you win or lose. That's the name of the game.
Yeah. So you mentioned wrestling. I think you said in '95 is when you started.
Yes, sir.
So you've been in the business for a long time. What? And I'm sure you've seen this as a promoter, as a wrestler, as a spectator. Whenever things go, I'm going to call it off script. Maybe things go. There's always a plan, even like in the perfect.
Right.
The scheme of things, but things don't necessarily go the way that you thought they would go.
Sure.
Like what happens? Like on every level, like what are you thinking? Like what's going on?
Yeah, it's just a, like I say, wrestling. You pretty much have to expect the unexpected, no matter what. I mean, promoting side, there's times where guys can't make a show that they committed to. Before my first show, I unfortunately had one of the guys that I had booked pass away in a tragic motorcycle wreck, and that was very, it was a very sad deal.
Wow.
But at the same time, like any wrestler would tell you, the show has to go on. Even he would have told you the same thing. He was an extremely talented guy. And I was really excited to have him, and I wish things would have worked out different, but they work out how they work out, and you go with the flow every time. That's if something unexpected happens, you just have to work around it.
Adjust. I feel like that's part of being a good, athlete, wrestler. Because even if I'm like, hey, I'm about to punch you in the face, I slip and miss. You got to be able to figure it out to make it work.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's just a matter of being. Just being aware. It's always an awareness you have to have. Like if you're in a match, they say knowing where you're at in the ring awareness. You have to remember where the ropes are at. Those are steel cables inside a water hose on most rings, so you hit those, they hurt.
Yeah, it's not like I think it's like a rubber band, and I've never been inside of a ring to be able to actually bounce on them.
Right.
But I've had conversations with people, and they say it's not. You look at it and you think it's like, oh, I'm going to bounce off. No, it's a steel cable that you're running against.
It's a steel cable, and I know for the first month and a half to 2 months I wrestled, I had bruises under my arm and on my hip from hitting the ropes. I mean, just constant every day. I would have a big purple bruise on my hip and on my right, underneath my right arm.
Do you eventually stop bruising?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know why, but your body toughens up. But I'll tell you, the last time I got in a ring, it had been a long time, 10 years since I'd been in one. I got in there, just kind of hit the ropes, and it hurt. And I was like, wow, this hasn't hurt in forever.
Yeah.
That's a bad feeling.
I believe it was Kevin with Reality of Wrestling who
Right.
had told me about that, because he will get back in the ring every once and again, for some training or to show people, just to remind everybody, like, do you remember who I am?
Yeah, for sure. Kevin was a really talented worker too. He was he had a really fun gimmick.
Yeah.
But he's, like I say, good guy and excellent producer. Does great work over there.
And he
Nothing
has
but praise for this.
a background in martial arts
Right.
as well. That's what he had grown up doing. And
Actually, one of the guys that I broke into the business that was a star back when I first started is the guy that originally trained Kevin, a guy named Ricky Laribas down in Lake Jackson.
okay, yeah, I'm from Angleton
Okay.
originally, and whenever I found out that Kevin was from Lake Jackson, I found out through social media, which Facebook's kind of neat. It's like, oh, you have mutual friends. I was like, oh, all these people are from like Brazoria County, Lake Jackson,
Right.
like Angleton area. So I was like, dude, and I had hit him up, and he was like, yeah. So it's just it's a small world.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small world. And now with it being, with UPW, with wrestling, I just saw Jonathan Jacque tune in from the Sanctuary Gym, and
know
he's a
Jonathan.
bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah. I know Jonathan as well.
Yeah.
Good guy.
A lot of wrestlers, like, it's kind of shifted, because I remember, back there was the era where dudes, everyone looked like a bodybuilder, and then it's
Yeah.
kind of like, then they're not. I was thinking like CM Punk and, Brian, what's his name?
Daniels.
Daniels. Yeah, and then there's still the guys that are big.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts and takes on all that? Because
wrestling's always been kind of a body business. I mean, I think his name was Gene Stanley back in the 50s, was like a Mr. America, and then he was a wrestler.
yeah,
You obviously, as an athlete, not every athlete in the world has to be cut up, huge six-pack. There are guys that are very athletic that don't necessarily present it. Trying to think, Josh Barnett was one in the UFC that never looked like just a big shredded monster, but he could beat anyone.
like I'm thinking of boxing real quick, like Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua,
Right.
and he's Mexican American. Everybody was like kind of cracking jokes,
Yeah,
at his
but he-
expense. And he came in there, and dude's quick,
Oh,
in
yeah.
shape. He's a
And
big dude and
Roy
has
Nelson,
power.
Roy Nelson, Big Country, is another guy that
Mhm.
you just because they carry a little extra weight doesn't necessarily mean that they're not athletic or fast or explosive. I mean, there's a difference. Now, health wise, I mean, yeah, if you get cut up, I don't necessarily say like bodybuilder cut up, but if you stay lean and in shape, that's always better for you. It's better for your joints, better for everything else. But there are guys, like I say, that are just really big athletes, and sometimes the extra weight, especially in wrestling, can help you. It's I think as a marketable thing for TV, sponsors and whatnot, you probably do want to have more of an in shape look and a young, healthier look to your guys. And that's I can't disagree with that. It's just business, but yeah, it's definitely evolved. I would like to see a point where more people could get back in, as far as different body size. Everybody kind of looks a little bit vanilla now. I mean, you see the same body over and over and over. And I'd like to see different looks, different sized people, they had, in their women's division in WWE, they had Nia Jax, who was a plus size model at one point. And, she was very dominant for a bit. She, didn't fit their normal cookie cutter mold. So,
Which is nice. Yeah, like, why
Yeah.
not?
Inclusiveness. Let everybody shine. If they can go, I'd say give them a chance. But again, that's you don't want your whole roster to be dad bods with big old beer bellies or something. You know?
This is a good mixture.
Right. Absolutely. You want to have people that stand out for memorable. I'd say you want everybody to be memorable, if nothing else.
All right, let's see. Right now it's 10:36. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share it out. Let us know what you got going on today and this weekend. There's something taking place tomorrow night in Bay Cliff. It's UPW's Bay Cliff Beatdown. You can attend, and if you want to head out there, I believe the tickets are available at the door.
Yeah.
And how much is this? Like $15?
15 for adults, 10 for kids under 12, or 12 and under, I should say. But just come out. Come to the door, get tickets, or you can call my phone number. It's on the posters. 409-750-2199 if y'all want to call and get tickets. We can do PayPal, and we'll reserve your seats for you. But like I said, it's going to be a fun show. We've got some really, really talented guys. You're going to have a lot of fun.
Here's a comment as well. It says former row talent debuting UPW tomorrow as well. Do you know what he's talking about?
Oh, Kid Ransom.
Kid Ransom.
Yeah. We're excited about having Kid Ransom.
Who are some other new people that haven't had the chance to wrestle under UPW's promotion?
This show coming up is actually there's a big group of new guys on the show. If you've been to our last couple shows, we've got Kid Ransom, the Afro Man, Stevie Hendricks, really exciting young talent. They'll be going head to head tomorrow night. We've got, let me think, Eric Crowley, who is another Viking. If you've seen the Pillars of Destiny on my shows, or,
that dude's he's a beast.
Oh, Titan's heading to Japan tonight, or today. He's on a flight right now going to Japan. So Crowley is another Viking. I mean, it seems like they're coming out of the woodworks now, and he's definitely talented. I've caught him a couple times, different shows, and he's a handful.
You know, watching him, I feel like maybe in the coming months he may get a shot at the title. I don't know. He's pretty legit. Like
he's I would say if there was a guy on my roster that would probably get signed away to a major promotion, I would say it would be Titan.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, he's probably the guy that fits the bill, I mean, for what they would want on TV the most. And super talented, great look, stays in shape, does all the right things. So
does that stuff go into account whenever, the commissioner, yourself, whoever, the brains are giving like title shots and opportunities?
We want to present the most exciting action that we can put out. I mean, it's sometimes there are just guys who can get in the ring together and just do magic every time. And sometimes there's guys you put them together and you just don't know what's going to happen. And if I've seen guys have great matches somewhere else, I'm not scared to rebook that somewhere. I think Jesse Logan and Nate Slater have wrestled each other hundreds of times, and they've gone back and forth. There's been a lot of wins and losses on both sides. So I don't have an issue with putting them in the ring together. I know it's going to be a slugfest. I know it's going to be, it's going to be brutal, but it's going to be a great show for the fans. That's what I consider when we start putting together matches. I don't want to, get into the whole booking process necessarily, but if I think it's going to be fun for the fans, there's matches sometimes that I want to personally see, but I don't necessarily book them because I might like something that I don't think that common fan that's going to buy a ticket likes.
Yeah, you take that into account. You have to.
Absolutely. And my wife actually, Sherry has to tell me sometimes, do you think the normal fans are going to like that, or is this something for yourself? And I have to, okay.
It's like sometimes I just have to give something to me. Like I need this, I can make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun though,
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. I just want it to be fun. I want the fans to have fun. I want the local businesses that happen to sponsor us or, advertise or just put us out and help us somehow. I want them to be proud by what we do and to not be, embarrassed by what we do.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I want to have a good family friendly event where you can bring your grandma, you can bring your little kids and everybody in between. That's my goal.
You mentioned the sponsors. I know Anthony Macaluso. He's one of the sponsors.
Yeah, Rock and River, Bounce House, and Party Supplies. Yeah, Legacy Collision for Santa Fe. And Bay Cliff, our sponsors are MDL Aircraft Services and the Frosted Boutique. And American Fence and Supply is good at helping me out. And KHEA, of course. We appreciate y'all always talking and putting our guys on before the shows and everything. So that's always fun. This is first time for me, so it's really kind of interesting deal too. I'm enjoying myself quite a bit right now.
Good. Yeah, it's fun and it's fun in here, and we like to have fun and talk about cool things that are going on, all the time. And yeah, definitely let us know. I was trying to think because we had the champ on, which Johnny calls him a big
smelly ape,
a big smelly ape. I don't know. But
Well, he's the silverback, so
Yeah,
that's where the ape part.
he kind of, yeah, because I caught that after a while. I was like, what? Oh, okay, because it's playing off of his own persona.
Right.
Whenever you wrestled, did you have either like a gimmick or an angle or?
When I wrestled, I was called Mr. Tattoo, which at the time I had more tattoos than most guys.
Yeah.
Now there's guys that come out, and now it's just kind of a joke if anybody calls me Mr. Tattoo anymore. There's guys that have way more tattoos than I ever wanted, so I'll still, if I ever wrestled again, that's probably the name I'd use, or just my own name again. But like I say, that was my main deal back then.
Yeah, I think, do most promotions let guys wrestle under their real name, or where did that come from? Like, hey, you need to change your name, or
most guys, I think the guys that wrestle under their real name, or guys that have their own persona, I think they either get with their trainers if they've carried it their whole career, or they come up with it themselves. And I don't want to, Alistair, if you've been to my show, he's kind of a crazy guy.
Yeah.
I
saw him at DZW for the first time with JT Royce over there, and then
Okay.
I saw him last couple months ago or whenever he got
July.
that.
Yeah, he's kind of a wrecking ball. That's his persona, and it fits him. I don't know. He's a great talent like that. But yeah, I mean, guys come up with these names, and I consider everybody that wrestles an individual business. I'm trying to put their business over and my business over at the same time. So I try to promote them as well as I can, and if I have a creative idea I think that they could work with, I might shoot it to them and say, hey, can you do this, or would you be interested in trying that? If they are, awesome. If not, that's totally cool. It's their business. I'm just trying to help, I'm trying to put on a good show and let them make their money and do things the way they want.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting is also multiple character. Like you can wrestle, one promotion as one way, and then another one another. Which I think like maybe a long time ago, before the internet and everything's on a fight app or promotion,
right.
It might have been people probably did it all the time, didn't even know.
Yeah, it happened. There's a few guys that still do it, and I don't know if I'm I can't say I'm a huge fan of it, because if I want to bring them in, do I book them as A or do I book them as B? And sometimes they wrestle as the fan-friendly good guy on one show and the cheating bad guy on the other show, so it's, what am I going to get when I book them? That's kind of, so it's interesting, but like I say, it's just, I talk to all the talent and try to figure out what they want to do and what their goals are and how they want to get over. So
yeah, one that comes to mind is Kiefer Bartek. So he started New Texas Pro Wrestling,
right.
a promotion, but he also wrestles like as the sheriff. I think it's like Heavy Metal and some other place. He's like, hey, the sheriff's coming back to town, and it's almost like everybody knows, like, oh, because then he was a part of the Cool.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, and then the sheriff and this one. So I think if you do it in a way where you handle the cards and you're not like trying to hide anything, but it's just like that's just what it is,
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and Kiefer's good. He's a talented guy, and they're doing real good stuff over at New Texas. He's a big cat, man. That guy, I saw him not long ago, a couple months ago at a show, and he's a big dude. That guy, he can definitely he could do some stuff in the business for sure.
No, yeah, he's a big guy, and I mean, I've had him in studio here once before, and you don't realize how big these gentlemen are, and even not how big the girls are, but how powerful and the moves that they're doing until you see them, and it's like, man, it becomes more impressive. Like Kiefer Bartek, stand next to him, I was like, man, this is a big dude. Or like Gino,
man, that kid, he's got a bright future. I'm excited. I know he just signed with Major League Wrestling, I believe. So I'm excited to see what happens with him. I expect to see him on TV. He's, a lot of those guys over there, I mean, they're super talented kids. They're cutting out really quality wrestlers over there. So good stuff.
And then you have, like Nate Laws, like standing next to Nate Laws. But Nate, you look at him and like that's a big guy.
Yeah.
But someone like Kiefer or like some of these other guys that are in betweeners.
Yeah. You don't realize the size of some of these people until, I mean, you get up close to guys and you're like, wow, okay, that guy's a lot bigger than I really thought.
And it's possible to make it without the size.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And especially nowadays. There's, the Daniel Bryans who are like 5'7" or 5'8" and 170 pounds.
Yeah.
Where 15, 20 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, and how big is it Galactica?
Estrella Galactica is, I would say, probably 5'6", and I'd say 165, 170 tops. I mean, but another example of just a top-notch guy that really can, just really get out. And that's the thing, though, is you go to the wrestling schools now. You got Reality Wrestling or Texas All-Star Wrestling School, or even I got some friends out in Katy where JT Royce trained at Domination Zone Wrestling. They can work with whatever you bring. If you've got the work ethic to really, really come out there and put it out. If you're gonna really work at it, they can take your large frame, your small frame. They can give you the tools to succeed. You just have to put the work in.
Yeah, talking to some of these guys and trainers and just people who have been doing it, they say it's how good you are at taking the instruction,
right,
and not having your own. And you mentioned this earlier, saying like, hey, each wrestler, they're a business and they're looking out for their own,
right,
and then obviously the promotion.
Sure.
But if we can make it work together, then you can. But you have to look out for yourself, but also be able to say, hey, this is for the good of the promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's doing business. That's the name of the game. I mean, it's a business. It's not I've got friends that I can't use on my shows. Yeah, I would love to, but it's business. It's not friendness. We call it. So it's just something you have to remember when you are getting into this game. You've got a lot of personalities, and not every personality meshes with others. Guy could be super talented. He could have a great look. He could have great gear, and doesn't want to do business the right way. Then what do you do with him? It's at certain points. I work with guys who I know can go and put on a great show, and in the locker room can just make a fun, pleasant place. Not pulling the curtain back too much, but I want my guys to not. I don't want there to be a fist fight in the locker room necessarily. Everybody needs to be professional and do what they're supposed to do. That's what we.
Does that happen? I'm sure you've seen it
from
time to time for many years.
I've seen some stuff, but yeah, it can happen. It doesn't near as much as it could. So that's like I say. There's a lot of guys. This is a part-time thing for them, and they have real jobs, and they go train every night, and they work out, and they still do all the right stuff, and it's just they've got a wife and kids at home, so they guys like that are definitely more grounded. They can come out and still live their dreams and do what they want to do. But then you have some guys that really sometimes buy into their own hype, I'll say, and they can be really hard to work with. But, like I say, you work around, like I said before, work around everything and just have fun. That's the best thing I can say.
All right. Hey, is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here today?
No, I just like to see everybody come out. Anybody that wants to come out to Bay Cliff, bell time is at 7:00 tomorrow night, so doors open at 6. I'd love to have you out there. The Bay Cliff Fire Department is doing the concessions. So all that money goes directly to them. Support the fire department and come out and support some wrestling.
Awesome. That's tomorrow night. Make sure that you go check it out. UPW out in Bay Cliff at the fire department. Thank you so much, Bart, for hanging out.
Thank you all for having me.
Hey, Johnny, thank you for calling in. We'll have to chat soon. It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Be blessed.